Yo, how y'all doing? As always, make sure you're letting me know if the levels are off, if my mic is too quiet compared to the music. Just let me know. I never know, because it always sounds different on the stream than it does for me. So I don't know. Sometimes I watch the stream back and it's like, oh, that sounded awful. So make sure you let me know if it sounds bad. But how's everybody doing? Got a bunch of topics to talk about today. I was gonna record a couple of videos, but then I was just like, I'll just get on stream and talk about it. A little bit more fun. Let me just make sure everything is ready. Let's see. Go. Hey, what's up, Frostbite? How you doing, man? Appreciate you for coming. Also, while we're just sitting here, like, chilling, waiting for some more people to get in here, if y'all could please leave a like on the stream, I would really appreciate that. But I appreciate everybody for just being here anyway. But yeah. Talk about this Leslie Headland stuff in 1 second. Just make sure everything's working, dude. The streaming alone stuff is a little difficult. But yeah, we'll just get into this stuff. Let's start talking about this Leslie Headland stuff real quick. Hopefully this works okay. Oh, that didn't work. There we go. So, obviously, I didn't have much faith in the Acolyte show in the first place. But all these comments that Leslie Headland was making makes me have a lot less confidence in the show. It's really sad. What these Kathleen Kennedy disciples have done to Star Wars, man, it's just really sad. But it is what it is. I think that there's always going to be, until she's gone, which, I mean, I don't know. Who knows if she's leaving in October or not? Who knows if she's going to renew her contract or not? It seems like, and I have an article to show you later on in the stream, it seems like she's gone. But there's no way for me to know. There's no way for any of us to truly know. We don't know if people like Doomcock have sources or not. Like, there's no way for us to know. But every single day, there's more and more reports saying that, it's looking like she's gone. So, hopefully. But until she is gone, we're always going to have to deal with stuff like this. There's always going to be two sides to Star Wars. It's always going to be the Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni faction versus the Kathleen Kennedy the Kathleen Kennedy and Pablo Hidalgo / people like Leslie Headland, just trying to push an agenda instead of actually making good Star Wars content. And it's proof right here. It's just sad. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, Leslie Headland did an interview, and I don't even know when the interview was. I don't know who discovered this. I don't know if it was recent. It must be recent. But she did an interview, and she said some pretty questionable things in the interview about her show, and I don't know what she was trying to accomplish by saying these things, because all she really accomplished in my eyes was make me more nervous, less excited for a show that I was already pretty nervous and not too excited about in the first place. And I think she did the same thing for a lot of Star Wars fans. But what's up, India Potato Farmer and Scott Alderson? Thank y'all for coming. Really appreciate it. KK going to pull a Palpatine and Operation Cinder Lucasfilm. Man, she really might. If she gets told that she's gonna get fired, then she might do some wild shit. But yeah, Leslie Headland said she thinks Star Wars is about politics and fan opinions aren't valid. I don't really think she said that. If you actually look at what she said, she definitely did say that Star Wars is about politics. You know, she said that George Lucas had a vision where Star Wars was about politics, and that's just straight up not true. That's just not what Star Wars is about. Never has been. Yeah, Brewing Sailor, exactly, man. This is the High Republic show. All this that was confirmed what many of us thought. Exactly, dude. Exactly. It's sad, but we all knew. It's frustrating to me, and I always hold out hope on shows like this because the concept for the show was just so cool, man. Like, it has so much potential. Dude, Star Wars fans have been begging for a dark side centric show like this for a while, and it was like when we first got the announcement, I was excited. I didn't really know who Leslie Headland was, so I was excited. I was like, oh my god, we're gonna get a dark side show. Then I did some research into who she is, and not so excited about it anymore. And now she's even saying stuff like this, but it's always frustrating to me because I know I'm gonna end up watching the show. What do you, bro? Fuck off, bro. I'm not boring on here. I'm just chilled. I'm just trying to talk about some stuff with people in chat, man. I'm not trying to be entertaining. I'm just chilling. But I don't even know what I was saying anymore, man. This guy always throws me off. But I just know I'm going to end up watching the show. Like, obviously, I'm going to watch the show because it's Star Wars. I'm going to watch it. And I know I'm going to be watching it. And there's going to be some entertaining parts in the show. And then they're going to throw in the feminism. And then that's just going to take me out the show and piss me off. And make me not want to watch the show anymore. My name is actually Levi. YouTube terminated my old account. Oh, okay. I'll start calling you Levi then. If KK does go, this show may be on the chopping block with her, or maybe they'll give it to Deborah Chow after she kills it. Yeah, that would be nice. I don't even know when this show is supposed to come out or anything, but that would be nice because I do want to see this show like really badly. I just think it's gonna be a waste if Leslie Headland does do this. Like I said, it's just gonna, we're always gonna have that until she's gone. We're always gonna have the two different philosophies, the two different sides on where Star Wars should go. But yeah, Data Racer says that thinks Star Wars is about politics and fan opinions aren't valid. What she pretty much said. Can you get a shout out? I don't know what that means, but shout out to Anakin Young. If you mean can I get a shout out? A disaster, you say? I'm eager to see the fallout as a result. Yeah, part of me hopes the show flops, like nobody watches it, just so they know. But at the same time, it's like, are they actually ever going to learn? I think that the way that they're going to learn, that Hollywood as a whole is going to learn to stop doing this shit, this woke shit, is the box office. It's not going to be like these Disney Plus shows. It's going to be the box office. Yeah, Brewing Sailor. I would love a good Dark Side show too. It's just, this isn't it. Maybe it is, man. Maybe it is. I'm not going to write it off quite yet, but I'm just saying that's not looking too promising right here. But anyway, think Star Wars is about politics. What she said was that George Lucas wanted Star Wars to be about politics, that George Lucas's vision was Star Wars was about politics, and that's just not true. Politics was, played a little part in it, obviously. But it was universally accepted ideas, stuff like Nazis are bad, rebels are good. People that are rebelling against Nazis are good. And it's just like, this is not this is not comparable to that at all. What's up, Force of Light? Thank y'all for coming. Brewing Sailor says George Lucas literally said Star Wars is about timeless concepts of good and evil. Exactly, dude. It's like if you don't agree with the concepts, with the politics that are in like the original Star Wars and the prequel trilogy, then the movie's like nobody cares about your opinion. Because if you don't agree with the politics that Nazis are bad, you're just a bad person. Like nobody cares about the type of person that thinks that that's not a valid viewpoint. What do you think about a platform like YouTube where everyone can say what they want? Only 2 rules: no infringing on rights and don't promote crime. Creators have their own rules. They have that, like Odyssey and stuff. Like sites that exist on the blockchain, they have that. YouTube is just too powerful, man. I don't know. It's gonna be hard for anyone to overthrow YouTube. But she didn't really say fan opinions aren't valid. Let me see. Hold on. Where does she say this at? I don't know where she said it at, but I read it earlier. And she pretty much was asked if she was like nervous about the passionate Star Wars fan base. Because let's be real, Star Wars fans are very passionate and can be toxic at times, especially towards the creators of Star Wars. Um, so she was probably just asked, or she was just asked, I read it earlier, if she was worried about like the fan backlash that would come from her making her own show, because regardless of how she chooses to go with her show, there's going to be some backlash. Like we see it with the Bad Batch, there's people complaining that the Bad Batch is whitewashed. Like she's always going to get that backlash because that's just what fandom is now. The question is, do you want to appeal to the Star Wars fans that truly care about the content that's being created, or are you going to try to appeal to the people that are complaining about the Bad Batch being whitewashed? Like that's the question, and she's going to choose to pander to the people that complain about the Bad Batch being whitewashed. So she was pretty much just asked like if she was worried about the fan backlash, and she kind of just said no. She didn't say that fan opinions don't matter. Wait, what? I ain't gonna lie, but Justin just vids better than 90% of Star Wars YouTuber. I think that's a compliment, so thank you. I don't really know what you're trying to say, but appreciate it. Any person can see their beliefs and the politics that George Lucas put in it. Exactly. It's just universally accepted stuff. It's not that hard to comprehend. Like Star Wars is not about politics. If you think Star Wars is about politics, then you're missing the point, or you never watched a Star Wars movie. Do you think they'll make a clone army of Omega for the Camino Rebellion and the Bad Batch? Will they keep it the same with the regular clones? I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't really give a shit about the Bad Batch. Kind of sucks. I haven't really thought about any theories or anything like that because this is what I do. I'm so glad the Bad Batch episodes are short because I literally watch those episodes to see who shows up in the show. I want it over as fast as possible. I want to see who shows up in the end. I just want to see the cameo. That's it. I want the show to end. I don't care about the show. What would you think someone were to overthrow YouTube and get Congress to take away YouTube? Bro, I don't know. That's a that might be for a different live stream, man. I don't know. YouTube's gonna come get me if I start talking about all that. No one wants to view the dark side as good. Exactly. It's not. Yeah. No one views the dark side as good. Oh, you're talking about. I don't know, man. I kind of disagree with that. There's always villains out there that you can kind of like see their point of view. I wouldn't say that there's villains that are good, but I think the MCU does a really good job in showing some villains that are, you can see their point of view. You don't necessarily think that they're good people. Like Thanos, you don't think that he's a good person, but at the same time you can see where he's coming from. Like at least he has a motive that actually you can kind of understand. He's not just evil for the sake of being evil, which I would argue that's what Darth Vader was in A New Hope. Because we didn't really know anything else. Once they developed his character, it wasn't like that anymore. But yeah, they need to hire Star Wars fans. Period. They need to stop hiring activists and start hiring actual filmmakers that care about the stuff that they're creating. It's not that hard. What's up, Justin Proper? Someone will always complain, like Wesley Snipes said in Blade. Some MFers always trying to ice skate uphill. Yeah, I mean that's just life though. Like you're never gonna be able to please anyone. You'll never be able to. But yeah, what I was trying to say with that villain stuff is that I think that we could see. I think Star Wars is also different, where like people aren't necessarily. I don't know. There's not always good and bad. Like, or I should say that the light side and the dark side always don't line up with good and bad. Like we saw in the prequel trilogy, a lot of people interpret the prequel trilogy as the Jedi were bad because the Jedi did make a lot of poor decisions and a lot of decisions that weren't necessarily good, especially, Jedi are supposed to only do stuff that benefits the Force or like that follows the Force's will. And they definitely didn't do that. They, instead of bending to the Force's will, they kind of tried to bend the Force to do what they wanted. So. So yeah, I think Star Wars is kind of different in that sense. Like I think that you can definitely have a dark side character and you feel empathy for them. Because all the time, people get redeemed in Star Wars. It's just like a typical Star Wars thing. Sorry I didn't get to finish my thought. I'm sure you can guess where I was going. Let me see. Did I read yours? Let me make sure I read yours. Well, this is going to take an ultimate swirly ride down the drain. Yeah, it's not looking good. Not gonna lie. People don't think the dark side is good, but some of the villains are cool. Vader is cool. Dooku was cool. Yeah, they're all cool. I think he was trying to say like we don't want to, like I think he was trying to say that dark side people are just, we can't feel empathy for them, but I disagree. I think that in some cases we feel more empathy for the dark side than the light side. Like in Anakin's case. Petition for Justin to direct the Star Wars movie? Hey man. I would love to. But yeah, I kind of disagree on that. But yeah, there are definitely villains that are just not likable at all. But let's get back to this real quick. Hired a writer who's never seen Star Wars. Now, I don't think that you have to have seen Star Wars to create a good Star Wars movie. Like if you're just a I mean, it's ideal. But I'm sure like once the writer gets hired to do Star Wars, they will end up watching Star Wars. It's ideal, but I don't think to make a good Star Wars film, you have to have seen Star Wars. You have to be a huge fan. If you're a good director, if you're a good cinematographer, then you can just do that without having seen the stuff. But to be a writer, I think that ideally you would be a fan previously to getting the writing job. And honestly, she talks about it here. Here it is. There were people like myself that were later in life Dave Filoni acolytes. I literally had one writer that was like, I have never seen any of them. I've never seen any Star Wars media. And she's texting me before we started the room. She's like, Luke and Leia are brother and sister. Now look, if I hired a writer for a project and she texted me that, or they texted me that before, like right before we went into the room, I'm firing that person. Cause that's amateur. That's unacceptable. Like you can't be having someone that doesn't know Luke and Leia are siblings about to write a Star Wars project. That's just not okay. But I think when it comes to like directing and, you know, all the other stuff that isn't storytelling straight up, it's fine. Yeah, I saw that video, dumb luck. Everyone should be concerned because we haven't really gotten anything promising other than the concept, the concept is pretty cool. Like I said, concept seems pretty dope, but that's gonna be another frustrating part of it. A really cool concept ruined by an agenda once again. Yeah, Maul was a good example too, especially in the animated shows. You couldn't really feel that much empathy for him in Phantom Menace because he was just like the embodiment of a devil. Like he just looked like a devil. But in the animated shows, I don't know. The animated shows, you can feel some empathy for him for sure. No writer should be allowed to write before viewing all the movies. Dude, that should be like, you shouldn't even have to say that. Like that shouldn't even have to be a requirement. Honestly, I think anyone who's a writer in Hollywood should just have seen Star Wars. How can you be a writer in Hollywood and not have seen Star Wars? It doesn't make any sense. Did the Jedi make bad decisions, or was that part of the plan from the Emperor? He clouded their vision? I don't know. It would help a lot if they watch it sometime. You have to know where the movies come from, especially the original trilogy. Yeah. You can't write a Star Wars project without having seen, I don't know, man. It's so obvious like why The Mandalorian is so successful, and it's been beat to death, but it's so obvious why The Mandalorian is so successful. It's so obvious why people like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are good at creating Star Wars, because they're Star Wars fans. Prior to making Star Wars content, they were Star Wars fans. It's so obvious. It's not that hard. Just stop hiring activists and start hiring fans that are also creatively talented. They hired someone who knew nothing about Star Wars. Come on, seriously. I'm really curious which writer it was. I don't know. But that's ridiculous, man. Yeah, I mean, the writer didn't admit it to the public, so Leslie Headland kind of leaked that. But I don't know. What she was saying whenever she was talking about that, she was kind of saying that she wanted to hire writers. For one, she wanted to hire the writers that could help her make the best script possible, which is understandable. But at the same time, there's probably some writers out there that could help you make the best script possible that have also seen a Star Wars movie. But she said that, and she also said that she wanted a lot of writers from different backgrounds. So like she wanted people that weren't so immersed in the Star Wars fandom to come in and give their point of view on what's going on. It's kind of understandable, but at the same time, it's just bad optics. Like just don't say that out loud. Don't say that someone is creating Star Wars content that hasn't seen Star Wars before. It just doesn't look good. So like I feel like a lot of this is very blown out of proportion. Like a lot of people are blowing it out of proportion a bit. But at the same time, I don't think it's blown out of proportion to say that this show is headed for disaster. I just think that a lot of these quotes are taken a little bit out of context, like just a little bit. And they're not quite as bad as they're made out to be, but they're pretty bad. Why would you even admit you've never seen Star? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. You got to know what the story is to be able to add to it. Bro, 100%. 100%. And you think that these writers, if they haven't even seen a Star Wars movie, do you really think these writers are going to read all the High Republic books? A lot of Star Wars fans can't even make themselves read those books. Like, you have to be, if you're going to make a show in the High Republic era, you're going to have to be able to read the books. Because you have to know like what High Republic is all about. I don't know how you can work in Hollywood and have a pulse. Dude, it doesn't make any sense. It's actually wild. I don't know how do you even, are these people graduating from film school? Because, I went to film school for a while, and pretty much everyone that I knew either had seen Star Wars in film school or had seen it previously. Like they show that in film school all the time. Especially like A New Hope and Empire. Do you think Headland has read any of the materials from the High Republic? Dude, that's what I was just saying. I wouldn't be surprised if she hasn't seen any of them. Or read any of them. I wouldn't be surprised at all because, like I said, a lot of Star Wars fans can't even make themselves read those books. I read Light of the Jedi like halfway, and it wasn't like so horrible that I had to stop reading. I just got bored and lost interest. But yeah, I've actually heard decent things about the High Republic books. But just the way that they're marketed just makes me not want to read them at all. One issue I have with Mando and all Filoni shows so far is sometimes episode is too short to tell the story well enough. Yeah, I have a big problem with that too. It's The Mandalorian is very good compared to the rest of the Disney Star Wars that we've gotten, but at the same time, there's 8 episodes in a season and they're usually around 30 minutes long. That in itself is already a problem. That's not enough. Like, that's not enough. It's not even close to enough. But then we wait a whole week for an episode and it's a filler episode. It's about a giant spider. And it's just like, come on, man. Give us something. Give us something to talk about for the next week. I think so far, say what you want about Loki, but Loki, the way it's formatted, 50-minute long episodes, only 6 episodes. I love that. Let's do that more. And so far, no filler. I don't think that they have room for filler with 6 episodes. So that's what I love. Because let's be real, 50-minute episodes, it's hard to have 50 straight minutes of filler. Something significant is going to happen in the episode if it's 50 minutes long. That's the template that they need for Mando season 3. And I think they might do that because it seems like Disney Plus is like really trying to figure out, like Disney is trying to figure out what to do exactly with Disney Plus. And like as soon as they saw that Loki was doing well, they were like, okay, let's move all our release dates to Wednesday, even though it has nothing to do with how many people are watching. For some reason, they think it does. It doesn't make any sense, but that's a good sign though that they are learning from these successes. So hopefully they learn from the success of the 6-episode, 50-minute long episode template, and they make all the other shows from Marvel and Star Wars use that. Yeah, Mando has some problems for sure. Tap water is the best water, dude. What the hell? Helen is probably more interested in protecting people from Weinstein. Jesus Christ. If she isn't an expert on Geode, fire her immediately. Geode is the future. Yeah, dude. We need a Geode cameo. That's the only way that they're going to save the Acolyte. If we get a Geode cameo. The writers on the High Republic, especially on the Marvel side, don't seem to know much about Star Wars. Just look at the plot holes they created with the recent Vader comic. I didn't read it. Or I haven't watched any videos or read the Vader comic, so I don't know. I had heard, I actually did see some stuff about that. What did he say? Hold up. Loki is fun. At the same time, I'm not very impressed. I feel like they're contradicting some of the early movies. I disagree. If you're talking about the Infinity Stone stuff, that is the dumbest critique of Loki. It's like the Infinity Stones being in the drawer, causing plot holes or making the past movies like insignificant. That's so stupid. Because for one, let me just start off with this. For one, you have to make the past threats look smaller because that's how you build up the new threat, okay? Now, you don't have to completely put them down. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to make the new threat in comparison look greater than the old threat, okay? That's one. But also, the TVA has made it clear that they don't exist in the same place that the Avengers exist, that every other show / movie has existed in the MCU. They've made that clear. Time moves differently in the TVA. They've made that so clear. It doesn't matter how strong the Infinity Stones are in the TVA because it's not existing in the same space that the rest of the universe is. So it doesn't matter. And also, if you're talking about the free will stuff, there's no way for me to know. There's no way for you to know. But if there's a sacred timeline, someone had to be first in that timeline. Like, so let's just say for Loki, there has to be an original Loki at some point, right? So if you're trying to make the free will argument, some Loki, the original Loki, had free will to form that timeline. And now that timeline is the sacred timeline. You know? I don't know if I explained that well, but at some point Loki had free will and now he chose his path and he's just supposed to relive that path over and over again. So he had free will. It's just this time around he doesn't. But he did originally. Not insignificant if everyone was gonna die because of them. Half of life did. Exactly. They're not insignificant in the space that the MCU exists. Like the rest of the MCU, the Avengers movies, all of it. Apparently he went to Exegol between Empire and Jedi. Didn't think to tell Luke. Ooh, Vader? Damn. Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird. Justin, as an original fan, I am in my late 50s. I really appreciate you and what you do. Damn. Thanks, man. That means a lot. I appreciate you for being here and supporting. Really appreciate that, man. Let's see. Do you think they'll retcon the sequel trilogy to make it? No. I don't think they'll ever retcon the sequel trilogy completely. And I don't really want them to, because that would alienate a lot of fans. I'm not really about like alienating a group of fans. A lot of people out there really like the sequel trilogy. A lot of people out there, you know, you can get mad at them all you want, but a lot of people out there saw the sequel trilogy as their very first Star Wars experience. And you know, now they're in love with Star Wars. I don't want those people to be alienated. I don't think that's right. Imagine if a lot of people that decided that they don't like the prequel trilogy anymore and they're like, you know what, retcon the prequels. I'd be pissed. I'd feel alienated. I don't want to do that to anyone. Because I don't like the sequel trilogy that much. I don't hate it as much as most people, but even though I don't like it, you still got to respect the fans of it. But I think they will try their best to improve where they can in terms of John and Dave. I think that they'll try their best whenever they see opportunities to add on to the sequels or to kind of make certain plot lines better, take certain plot lines out. I think they'll take those opportunities every single time they get them. Yeah, Vader saw the Armada with the Death Star cannons, the cloning. What? What the hell, dude? That is, man. What's your favorite Mando episode of season 2? It's hard not to say the finale. Dude, honestly, I wasn't feeling season 2 until that finale. The one where Boba Fett came into was really cool. Those two were the first episode. The one with Boba Fett, I think it was 5 or 6. So the first one, the Ahsoka one, the Boba Fett one, and then the finale were the only ones where I was really like having fun watching. and those were really, really good. Why didn't the Emperor use their ship? Yeah, dude, that's just dumb. Why are they doing that? Yeah, I know. I'm not saying like the prequels are so hated. I'm just saying, imagine if a group of people just decided that they don't like the prequels and that they should be retconned, and then Star Wars ended up doing that. That would make a lot of people feel very alienated, including myself. So, yeah, like Scott said, or Levi, getting mad at others for liking something is dumb. We have our likes and dislikes. How should that affect our nerd talks together? Exactly. If you like the sequels, like, you should just be allowed to like the sequels. It's not that big of a deal. In a way, the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch are retrofitting the prequel trilogy in the best ways possible. Yeah, I think that the Clone Wars was like... Somebody told me the other day, I forgot who it was, but I was on a stream with ABJ and them, and somebody said that they think that the Clone Wars is like the real meat of the Star Wars universe. And I respect that. I think if the Clone Wars was live action, I might think that too. If it was like a trilogy of movies instead of 7 seasons and it was live action, I might think that too. But the fact that it was a cartoon kind of takes that away from me. But I 100% see where they're coming from with that. Like, that is kind of true from a like just a purely narrative perspective. But the fact that it was cartoon and a show and not a trilogy, I don't know. Let's see. Theory ripped apart that comic. It was pretty funny. He did it in his normal, respectful way, but yeah, he was not digging it. Yeah. That is pretty stupid. I think that's where I saw it too, but I didn't watch the whole thing. Fun fact, Justin can't outbitch Star Wars theory. Probably not. I don't really bench like that. I don't lift for like strength. I lift for aesthetic. Speaking of the Clone Wars, do you have a favorite arc? Dude, again, I don't know if I just have like a really strong recency bias when it comes to Star Wars and shows and movies, but the last arc of season 7 was just so good. How can I like not say is that? It was so amazing, dude. As Yoda became more powerful as a Force Ghost, would like to see Force Ghost Luke break the rules. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I would like that, but I think a lot of people wouldn't like that. A lot of people didn't like the fact that Yoda could affect the actual world from a Force Ghost. I didn't mind it. It does create plot holes, but plot holes are all over the place in Star Wars. Nothing new. The original trilogy is the center of the web for me. Yeah, I never really thought about it like Star Wars from a perspective of like what is the center of the you know, what is the meat of Star Wars. I never really thought of it like that. I kind of just like think of it as like one big story. But let's get back to this Leslie Headland stuff real quick. Let's see. Where is it at? Okay. Let's get out of this. Female and queer representation is a top priority. I literally cry whenever I see it. So this person, Leslie Headland, cries when she sees a female on the screen. I said this in my video, but that is not someone who's about representation. That's not someone who's about diversity at all. That's someone who is power tripping. That's not good. That's someone who feels very powerful that she sees a female on screen, and feels powerful when she sees queer representation on screen because it makes her feel powerful. And she's crying because she's power tripping. That's not something I don't know. Like there's a lot of women on the screen. There's no way that she gets that excited, that happy every single time she sees a woman on the screen. It doesn't make any sense. She's power tripping. It's like voting. My dad was involved in right to work bill, and he was friends with a guy on the opposite side, and people tried to get them both fired. They failed. Yeah, we can be friends and think differently. I 100% agree. Let's see. Force Ghost Luke caused a lightsaber too. That's true. So yeah, I mean, there's a precedent set that the Force Ghost can affect the actual world. I don't know. I kind of like it. I just think they should find a way to limit that. Like, find a way to make sure that that's limited, because that can get really weird really fast. I don't like that stuff, right? Like, I don't, anytime, I don't know. Anytime like time travel comes into play, or when people start coming back from the dead to affect things that's happening in real time, I don't like that. There's a saying in film school where like when you start like attaching time travel or alternate universes or bringing people back to life like that too often, that is when the story has gone on too long and like you've run out of ideas. It's time for that story to end. So I never like when I see too much of that stuff. But at the same time, I think it would be kind of cool. I think depth of force enlightenment, that could explain it for sure. The Expanse is the single most diverse represented cast on all of TV. It's also a fantastic show, and they've never once mentioned people of all colors, all orientations. Story is greater than politics. I've never seen it, but yeah, you can have a diverse cast as long as you don't bring attention to it inside of the story. Nobody cares. It's not like we're saying we don't want representation. Nah, we just want, I don't know, man. We just want good stories that aren't taken away from for in favor of the representation. She should have gone through 20 boxes of Kleenex watching it. That's true, man. Most Star Wars, really. Did you just call me Justine, Scott? Come on, man. But I'll see you later, man. Thank you for coming. Yo, what's up, Dylan? Thank you for the $2, man. Good to see you here. Oh, it's not gonna update. That sucks. But I appreciate the $2, man. Thank you. But I'll see you later, Scott. Just don't call me Justine anymore, okay? Are you excited for the new Indiana Jones movie? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not that big of an Indiana Jones fan. But even if I was, probably wouldn't be too excited for it. I'll give it a shot, though. Let's see. Yes to the Expanse comment. That's how you do it right. You might have to check out the Expanse. But yeah, I think it's pretty, we've said it a million times. It's not about that we don't want diversity and stuff, man. I don't care. I don't care what gender or the color of your skin. I just don't want it to take away from the story. Simple as that. Yeah. Wait, Justin autocorrects to Justine? Dude, what the hell? Time travel is a convenient way to resolve. Yeah, it is. It's a very convenient and lazy way of storytelling, for sure. But sometimes it's done right. Like, in Endgame, I don't mind it too much. But it can, I don't know, it can make you lazy, and it can also just be a lazy way of storytelling. I don't know if I should just, like, talk to the chat for this whole stream or actually go into topics. Yeah, appreciate that guy with the fox. Hopefully it shows up on the screen. It should update. But guy with the fox, I appreciate the $5, man. I've never done this before. Can't believe it wasn't for a girl first. Thank God, man. Do not send any of your money to girls for showing their body. You can find that on the internet for absolutely free. But I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. I just want to see if Mangold can back up his Twitter rant. Crap. Hold up. I just want to see if Mangold can back up his Twitter rant. He's got good movies in his portfolio, so we'll see. The Expanse is worthy. Check it out. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. That Twitter rant kind of made me a little bit less excited for the movie because it just seems like he's like insecure. It just seems like he's insecure about the movie, and I don't know. But that's just the way I interpreted it. Hopefully it's good. I'm rooting for it for sure. Yeah, I know what you meant, Rowing Sailor. But yeah, I mean, Mangold has done. Didn't he do Ford v Ferrari? I really liked Ford v Ferrari. Doomcock just made a video about Indiana Jones. The movie looks stupid if the information is true. Yeah, I saw he did a video on the leaks or the plot leaks or whatever, but I didn't watch it because I just really don't care. Only sim for Justin and no one else. Exactly. Dude, I'll do a hot tub stream. I'm down. I just gotta get a hot tub. Yeah, what do you think if they added a Star Destroyer that had cruise missiles instead of the 8 heavy turbo cannons on the side? I don't know, man. I don't really know how to answer that. I'm not gonna lie. I agree with Mango went off. I thought of the words of Shakespeare. Methinks the lady. Yeah. Yeah. It felt like he was trying too hard to defend his movie. And he wasn't even really defending it. Because, I mean, he couldn't really say anything because he couldn't give away the plot or anything like that. I understand. But at the same time, I don't know. He just kind of, it seemed like he was just kind of throwing a fit. Mango did 4v Ferrari, 310 to Yuma, among many other good films. Yeah. Yeah, man. He's a good director. I think 4v Ferrari might be my favorite of his. The next super chat goes to Justin's hot tub expense. Yes, it does. Maybe at 10,000, at 10K, I'd do a hot tub stream. Oh yeah, I forgot I have this soundbite. I don't even know if this is gonna work, but let me try this out. I don't know if Dylan's still here or not, but I'm gonna start playing that for every super chat. Like the good old days. A lot of you are probably watching like, what the hell? But alright, man. I'm gonna show y'all this. At least. Hold on. Let's see. So, I know this is from Cosmic Book News and all, but it actually is very interesting. Disney Star Wars distances itself from Kathleen Kennedy in favor of Jon Favreau. I know we've heard this a bunch of times, but it just, every single time it gets reported, it just kind of like reinforces the idea that we have that Kathleen Kennedy is leaving soon, or even if she's not leaving, she's losing some power to the people who actually know how to make good content. I firmly believe even if she does renew her contract, she's not going to be that involved in Star Wars anymore. She's not going to be that creatively involved when it comes to the creation of these shows. I really think so. She could very well renew her contract. Dude, I swear to God, you have to be Dylan. Like, there's nobody that actually misses Dylan. Nah, I'm playing. But you got to be Dylan. The Atlantic has published an article first titled in its print edition with the headline "A New Hope for Star Wars." The streams ain't the same without Dylan. Dude, come on. A New Hope for Star Wars, and then published on its website with the title "How Disney Mismanaged the Star Wars Universe and How the Mandalorian Can Restore the True Power of George Lucas's Legacy." Or Galaxy, my bad. The basic gist of the article is that The Mandalorian does correctly what George Lucas did right with the original trilogy, while the prequels and Kathleen Kennedy's Disney Star Wars movies have failed, obviously. And this guy, Cameron Pasha, or I don't really know how to say his name, Cameron Pasha, I don't really know, but this guy has been saying he works for, or he did work, he was a producer, or still is a producer, one of those, it says right here. Hollywood producer Cameron Pasha, known for Roswell, New Mexico, The Substitute, Nikita, King's Bionic Woman, Sleeper Cell, all that stuff. He is always agreeing with Doomcock's leaks. Like, always. Yeah, he's from Midnight's Edge, I think. I never really watched their videos. Like, nothing against them. I just don't have time. But I believe he's from Midnight's Edge. And he's always agreeing with Doomcock's leaks. Always. And he obviously knows the industry. He's a Hollywood insider. Obviously, he's produced a lot of movies. And he says this: I wonder how much longer my Lucasfilm stalker is going to have a job after this. The Atlantic is deeply connected to the Hollywood Club. This article is a decapitation move by Chapek against Kathleen Kennedy. Doomcock was right, and I kind of predicted it too on Midnight's Edge. So, the guy's been saying for so long that Kathleen Kennedy is done in October. So I don't know, man. Yeah, me too, Brilliant Sailor. I feel like that's the best way to go. I think Star Wars is just it's a different animal. The beast is just too big. The beast is just too big to be slain by one single person. Like, we don't have, maybe possibly Jon Favreau could handle it all, hypothetically. Maybe he could truly be the Kevin Feige of the Star Wars universe, hypothetically. We don't know. But I think that the best way to go about it, the best way to maximize everyone's potential involved, is to have Kathleen Kennedy or someone else who understands Hollywood, the business side of Hollywood, who's not too creatively talented, but is really good at to be honest with you, she's not even good at the business side of things, because a lot of directors, a lot of writers have been fired / left projects because of creative differences. So she's not even good at that part, but whatever. Let's just act like she is. To have someone that understands the business side and that's good at the business side, running the business side of Lucasfilm / Star Wars, and have people who are good at the creative side of things, like Favreau and Filoni, maybe Chow, and maybe George Lucas if he's coming back. We don't even know if Deborah Chow is going to be good, by the way. We got to wait for that Kenobi show to see if she's really good. I think she will be, but we don't know. But yeah, if we can have like Jon Favreau in a position of power when it comes to creative projects, and have like George Lucas, if he really is coming back, like mentor him in kind of a mentor role, that would be ideal. And then have someone else totally unrelated worrying about the business side of things. Like, when it comes to writers and directors being hired on projects, like, let Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and George Lucas give their input on who should be hired, and then let that person just go out and get the hires and do all the other business stuff. Let Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and them just worry about the creative stuff. I just think that's the way to go. Even if it's not Kathleen Kennedy and if it's not Jon Favreau, we need more than one person running Lucasfilm. It's just too much, obviously. Not one person can handle it unless you have someone who's as good at their job as Kevin Feige is, which Jon Favreau might be, but we don't know. Do you think Leslie Headland will leave with Kathleen? It depends on who the new president would be. If Kathleen Kennedy does leave, it totally depends like the ideals of the new president, because maybe the new president is even more woke than Kathleen Kennedy. We don't know. We have no idea. Could be 10 times worse. But if the new president were to be someone like Jon Favreau, or just someone who really takes pride in the storytelling aspects instead of the agenda pushing aspects, then I think that she will either leave the project and it will be scrapped, or maybe she'll leave the project and they'll hire someone else for it, or she'll just change her ideals and they'll actually tell a good story instead of pushing an agenda in the show. Yep. She has not been good with directors, but I agree with your point. Business side team and a creative side team, that's the way to go. Exactly. And then there's no one person to blame. It takes so much pressure off of everyone. If you have, even if it's not split up between business side and creative side, it can just be a committee of people at the top. It takes so much pressure off. You can delegate work that way, have people doing things that play into their personal strengths instead of just having one person deal with everything. Because imagine if you're the head of Lucasfilm right now, even before, there was so much pressure on Kathleen Kennedy to make money with Star Wars immediately. Like, I know we don't like to give her slack around here, but imagine you being in that position. It would be hard for you to perform. But if there's multiple heads of Lucasfilm, there's multiple presidents, if there's a committee at the top, that takes a lot of pressure off of everyone. We need a literal Jedi Council in Star Wars making decisions than just one person. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I was kegging beer all day. Time for me to drink one. Be right back. All right, man. Appreciate you for coming. KK's one job should be to rain down freedom and cash on John, Dave, and George. Yeah. Man, I was talking about this on Lost Jedi, but if, let's just say, Jon Favreau were to commit to Star Wars for 10 years, which I don't know if he wants to do that. He very well might not want to do Star Wars for that long, and he might just be here for a couple years and then leave. But let's just say, hypothetically, he were to commit to Star Wars for 10 years, and also it's true that George Lucas is coming back, and George Lucas mentors Jon Favreau for 10 years, when Jon Favreau is already obviously very talented at creating Star Wars projects, and then George Lucas is there to mentor him on how to do it. In 10 years, we could be seeing, in 5 years, we could be seeing peak Star Wars, dude. Like, legit peak Star Wars, if that was the case. What's up, Brewing Sailor? A little mad at Kevin for pulling, yeah, Doctor Strange cameo on WandaVision. In that context, a little white mansplaining actually made sense. It isn't even about white mansplaining, it's just about explaining things that are happening from someone who knows more than Wanda about what's happening. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. It's like, all right, if you really hate white males that much, how about you step down from your position and have someone who's not a white male take your position? If you really don't like white males that much, let's see how much you're really committed to this cause. He ain't stepping down. It's a joke, man. Regarding the rumors, it has been claimed a Star Wars civil war has been taking place within Lucasfilm between Kathleen Kennedy and those who support her and Jon Favreau's camp, which includes those who are also behind the upcoming Boba Fett spinoff, as well as the Rosario Dawson, Ahsoka. Dude, so many of these articles have typos, it's not even funny. But Ahsoka Tan series and the delayed Rangers of the New Republic series, which was to star Gina Carano. I don't know. I think there's a civil war. I 100% think there's a civil war. I've gone over it so many times, but I think it's so obvious that there's a civil war. Yeah, I agree, guy with Fox. This is absolutely ridiculous. But like I said, she was under a lot of pressure to make money immediately, but still, you got to have at least a loose plan. And also, if you don't want to come up with a plan and you have to make money off of Star Wars immediately, George Lucas gave you a plan. Just follow that. Like, come on. There's no excuses. But I know you're not a fan of Bad Batch, but what do you think their plan is with Omega? I literally have no idea, man. I think that she's special in some way, though. I think that she has some kind of powers, but I don't know, man. I can't lie and say that I care. I just don't care. Editors are a thing of the past. Yeah. Or, just proofreading. I swear, every single time I read an article for a video or a live stream or just reading it in general, there's a typo in every single one. I was reading an article in a video the other day and it was just like, there's no way that the person that wrote the article, native language was English. And I posted it on Twitter. Let me see if I can go find it, dude. Hold on, I don't want to leak anything. Let me take this off real quick. But dude, this article, I don't know if it's a troll website or what, but I gotta go find this. Oh man, how far back is it? Jesus. Oh, here it is. Nah, I didn't. After Thor: Love and Thunder with bro. I was trying to read this. I never heard of this website before, so I don't know. Y'all can tell me if this is a troll website or not, but what does that look like? Hold on. All right, you can kind of see the full thing right here. I was trying to read this article. Project after Thor: Love and Thunder would be your next... Bro, what the fuck is this article? Project after Thor: Love and Thunder. The website is called Explica. I don't know, man. I could not understand. Let me try to read it right now. In a recent interview Taika Waititi. Don't even capitalize Taika Waititi's last name. Just Taika Waititi lowercase. In a recent interview, Taika Waititi, if your next project after Thor: Love and Thunder, it will be your movie of Star Wars. Something that it seems that is not very clear. Like, what the hell is this, man? I don't know if it will be Star Wars. I hope that's the way it is, but there are a lot of other little things that my sticky fingers have attached to, so we'll see. If we review some of the interviews he has given, Taika Waititi, bro, why is Waititi not capitalized, but lately is? He seems to be a bit tired of directing a blockbuster. So you could take a break and shoot smaller stories before you get involved in something as big as Star Wars, since he obtained a lot of prestige with Jojo Rabbit, 2019 film with which he won an Oscar. Okay. We got pretty good towards the end. But yeah, that was like a nightmare to read. I had to go find a different article. Half of these writers are freelance college kids on Fiverr or some BS. Technically they write, but are they writers? Yeah. It's always a good laugh to find one that bad though. This person must have been someone off of Fiverr from like India or something that does not speak good English, because there's no way a native English speaker can write something that horrible. Unless they just never passed elementary school, maybe. Oh yeah, I saw that, man. And that Star Wars girl tweeted about the new Snow White. Spoiler, she's not white. Man, dude, this world is just crazy, man. There you go. I already got it pulled up. Rachel Zegler, star of Steven Spielberg's upcoming West Side Story film, is set to play the title role in the dude. And I saw that she tweeted something earlier too, talking about she's not gonna bleach her skin, and it's just I don't know, man. It's just funny at this point. But let me read the rest of this. By the Snow White, spoiler, she's not white. Dan Vask replied, not diverse enough. If the 7 dwarves aren't polyamorous. Yeah, I watched the Quarterings video on it, and he said something like it's not gonna be Snow White and the 7 dwarves anymore. It's gonna be Snow White and the what did he call it? Like the vertically challenged, the 7 vertically challenged people. I thought that shit was funny. Something that might spark an interest in you about the Bad Batch is the fight between Cad Bane and Boba Fett. Yeah, I have no idea what that's about at all. I didn't see, like, I don't know why Boba Fett and Cad Bane are gonna be fighting, or why that's confirmed. Dude, I tried 3 times to send you a super chat, but it won't go through. Oh, it's all good, man. I don't know why it wouldn't go through. I think, yeah, 2 other people have sent in super chats in the stream, so I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it's all good, man. Don't worry about it. Appreciate it. It's a thought that counts. Yeah, man, that Snow White stuff is just wild. Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to go that far into it, but let's see. What else we got to talk about, man? I kind of just, I don't know. Here, I'll plug my Twitter and my merch. Hopefully this goes through. There's the merch. If you want to buy some cool shirts, go there. All right. There's my Twitter if you want to follow that. But yeah, man, if y'all got nothing else to talk about, I might end the stream here. Unless y'all got any other topics. I have some topics that I want to talk about, but I don't know. I kind of don't feel like it anymore. Kind of just want to talk to the chat for a while. That's an unfinished Clone Wars arc. Cad Bane and Boba fight. Cad shoots Boba in the head, giving him the dentist helmet, but Boba kills Cad. Wait, what? But Boba kills Cad. Oh, so you're talking about... Oh, okay. Okay, so it was unfinished. You mean like it never made it into Clone Wars, so they think that they're gonna use the arc for Bad Batch. All right, that could be kind of interesting. But the show is, I don't know, man. It's not that I dislike the Bad Batch characters. I just don't care about them. Like, if they were to all die, I just wouldn't care that much. I know that sounds horrible to say, but I just don't feel any stakes whenever anything is happening in that show that involves the Bad Batch. I kind of feel stakes with Omega a little bit just because it's a child, but I'm not saying that guy with Fox. You can say it all you want, but I'm not reading that. Cad Bane and Boba Fett are the best bounty hunters at that time, period. That's how Boba gets the famous dent in his helmet. Okay. That would be cool to see Boba show up. I just hope it doesn't become like a thing where every single show Boba shows up. Because I feel like that's what Maul turned into for a while. Like, Maul got a little played out. Like, I'm glad that the sequel trilogy villain wasn't Maul. Like, apparently that's what George Lucas's script was going to be. I'm glad that wasn't the case, man. Maul is just played out at this point. It was a great character, but I think it's just done. Like, let's let Maul rest. At least for a few years. Like, he was in Phantom Menace, he was in Clone Wars, Rebels, Solo. Like, all right, let's calm down a little bit. I think they do actually, maybe everyone but Echo, because they've been kind of ignoring him. Wait, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. But I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. I appreciate everybody for coming. Appreciate all the super chats, all the likes, subscriptions, all that good stuff. What's up, Terra Gaming? You came in right at the end, man. Rebels was a real slow start for me, but loved it by the end. I feel like in Rebels and Clone Wars, really, but more so in Rebels, there's really good moments in it, like that really have big implications for the Star Wars universe, but they're very few and far between. Oh, the Bad Batch all die except for Echo. Okay. I see what you're saying. I wouldn't really I mean, I wouldn't care. Like, as of now, there's a lot of episodes left, so maybe I will. But I don't even know what I was saying, man. Oh yeah, the big moments in Rebels and Clone Wars are very few and far between, but when they do happen, they are very, very good. And Rebels had some very good arcs in it as well. I just feel like it's a little bit fewer and further between than Clone Wars. I still enjoy it though, man. It's hard for me to dislike anything that's Star Wars when lightsabers and the Force are involved. That's kind of my problem with the Bad Batch. They're not really present. So I don't know. Hopefully it gets good. I'm rooting for it. You might also see Darth Vader. Yeah, that'd be cool. I just don't like the fact that the show is relying on other characters, cameos. But yeah, man, appreciate everybody for coming. I'm gonna start doing these again. I know I always say that, but I really want to start doing these again. I just enjoy getting in here and talking to everyone about like current events and all that stuff. So hopefully in a couple of days or something, I'll be back. I really want to start doing, I might even do a stream tomorrow night. I don't know. I want to do a stream tomorrow night, like to review Loki, to talk about Loki, but I don't want to do it alone. So if I can find someone else that wants to come on with me, or find a couple people that wants to come on with me and talk about it, I will. But if not, I will see y'all in a couple of days talking more about Star Wars and a little bit about Loki episode 3. Appreciate everybody for coming. Like I said, thank you for the super chats, the subscriptions, the likes, all that good stuff. Appreciate it all. I'll see y'all next time.